Hello everyone, welcome to the Archipelago live stream. My name is Liam. I'm part of the team here at Archipelago, makers of Lightroom presets and creative profiles. Very excited for this stream. This one is all about a sneak peek look at what's coming for our first Quest set of 2024. That is Quest 33 Trouvaille. So I'll be showcasing this set in this live stream today. It's actually the last live stream of this year, so we're very excited to be hosting this. Thank you to everyone that's joined. Hope you had a wonderful holiday, and hope you've eaten lots of really tasty food like I have. I'm sure I've put on quite a bit of weight over the last week or so. But yeah, we're going to take a look at Quest 33 Trouvaille. This comes out to our Quest subscribers on the 1st of January, which is a handful of days away now. And this one's all about the romantic and emotive aesthetic. It's really great for those dark cinematic storytelling images. So you'll see that as we get into the edits shortly. If you are tuning in live, do jump in the chat, say hello. It's always nice to know who's tuned in. I can see that we've got KCAJ on already. That's great. Yeva's on as well. Welcome, Yeva. Yeah, do jump in the chat and say hello. It's always nice to interact with you via the chat. If you are new to this, if it's your first stream, make sure you're subscribed to the channel on YouTube. And then after a minute or so, it's going to let you jump in the chat and say hello. So like I said, it's all about Quest 33 Trouvaille. That also means that we'll be doing a giveaway of this set as a pre-release in the chat. So if you are tuning live, you're going to be in with a chance of winning Quest 33 Trouvaille as a pre-release copy before it goes live on the 1st of January. So that's great news. And we also will be doing a giveaway for one of these, the Archipelago Quest hoodie. This is exclusive item that's only available via our giveaways. So again, if you're in the chat and you interact as we go through this stream, you could be in with a chance of winning some free presets or even a hoodie. So that's awesome stuff. All right, let's take a look at the images that I have. So I've got 8 wonderful images I'll be editing with today. And as I go through and edit these images, I'll be showcasing the set, talking through the presets that are included, the tools that are included in there as well, and just helping you to understand how you can get the most out of these presets and just showcasing the style that they deliver with that lovely romantic and emotive aesthetic. Anita's on as well. That's great. Welcome, Anita. So as I dive into the edits shortly, you're going to see the photographer's name at the top left, along with their Instagram handle and the EXIF data just below that. So as I go through each image, if you see one that you think is particularly beautiful and you want to go see more of their work, do go and follow them on Instagram. It's always nice to support the incredible photographers that provide the images for us to use. So Quest 33 Trouvaille, you get 3 core presets in this. Trouvaille 1 is a black and white preset, and then you have 2 color, Trouvaille 2 and 3. You also get 2 creative profiles and then a bunch of tools to help really deliver that gorgeous dark cinematic storytelling aesthetic. So we'll go ahead and edit this image and we'll just go through them in sequence. And I'll just kind of showcase each of the presets as we go through, and I'll use a variety of the different tools that are included as we go through and edit these as well. We've got Vintage Barbie on. Hello, fellow creatives. Thank you so much for joining. All right, so let's get underway. I'll start editing this first image. This one is by Yeva. Absolutely stunning image. Yeva's here in the chat live, which is awesome. And I can see this is shot in Edinburgh. This is Yeva's stomping ground, which is a stunning city. I absolutely love Edinburgh, and I think this looks like it's down in Dean Village by the river. Super beautiful image. So I'm going to go ahead and get the exposure and the white balance set first. So I'm going to bring the exposure up a decent amount. I want to make sure that the subjects are nicely exposed. It feels like it could do with maybe just a tiny little bump in temperature, maybe somewhere around about there. And then we'll go ahead and take a look at the presets. So I'll run through all 3 of the core presets on this shot first, and then we'll kind of go ahead and edit with the first preset. So first up, with a 1-click, let's go ahead and take a look at Trouvaille 01. Now it's going to take a second to apply, and that's because these presets feature a subject and background mask, and that just helps to deliver this really nice dark cinematic aesthetic. So you can see when I first hover over it, a second or 2 later, it's going to look slightly different as it applies that mask, where it figures out where the subjects and the background are. So we get this incredibly gorgeous black and white conversion here. Really, really nice kind of cinematic storytelling. It's quite dark, moody, really, really beautiful. And that's the 1-click. So let's go ahead and take a look at before and then again Trouvaille 1. And then we've got the 2 color presets. So let's go ahead and take a look at this in color. So Trouvaille 2. Really nice. I love this one. It actually might be my favorite preset in the collection. It's a lovely balance between being more sort of cool toned, but because it's very desaturated, it still retains some of the warmth, certainly in things like the skin tones. It's a really, really nice balanced preset. And then we have Trouvaille 3, which is a warmer preset. So you can see that just pushes a little bit more warmth into both the subject and the background. You get that kind of nice honey overtone in the image there. So that's your 3 core presets. It covers most of what you're going to need to achieve that nice moody aesthetic. So we're going to go ahead and edit with Trouvaille 1 for this one. So let's go ahead and apply Trouvaille 1. And as I mentioned, it uses the masks. So you can see in here, it has a few different masks that are applied as default with the preset. And that's just to help to deliver this look without sacrificing certain things. So you get that really nice exposure on your subjects whilst darkening the background down. And also with the color presets, it's correcting for skin tones at the same time. So very, very clever. All that's happening with one click. Let's have a quick look at the chat. Happy New Year, Liam. Looking forward to all the creations you guys produce for this upcoming year. That's from Perry. Thank you, Perry. Happy New Year to you too. We've got lots and lots of exciting things to come. We were actually just discussing some very exciting ideas and plans that we have coming up for Quest members. But we've got lots of stuff in the works this year, so definitely stick around, stay tuned. Beautiful photo. That's from Elizabeth. Yeah, I agree. It's absolutely stunning. Andrew has jumped on and said, hi everyone, this is such an amazing set. Andrew, of course, has had his hands on this early, been testing this preset out for us. So yeah, nice little recommendation from Andrew there. Ooh, love the black and white and 3 on this. Thank you, Elizabeth. All right, so let's continue with the editor. So we've got Trouvaille 1 applied, that's the 1 click. Let's go ahead and take a look at the creative profile. So of course, this is a black and white image, so we have the Trouvaille black and white profile set to 100 as default. And this profile is just about shaping the light in the image. Really, really handy if you've got a variety of different lighting situations across a set of images. You can use this just to dial and tweak things to get nice consistency throughout. So this is it set at 100. This is it down at 0 and up at 200. So you can see how it's just shifting around the dynamic of the light within the image. So I think for this, I'm going to leave it at 100 for now. We can go ahead and play with that later, but I think it looks nice at 100. So let's take a look at the rest of the tools that are included, because these are absolutely fantastic. So we've got mute, diffuse, dynamic, deluminate, achromatic, landscape, and then a reset tool. So all these are going to help to just shape that image the way that you want it. So first up, mute. This uses the masking panel to apply a muted effect to the image. So you can see here, it kind of crushes the shadows, it mutes those highlights down at the same time. So with 1 click, you can shift from sort of a cleaner aesthetic to something a little bit more nostalgic with that nice muted look. And of course, when we apply this, we have the preset amount slider. You're going to find that at the top left of Lightroom. Once you've applied a preset, you can set the intensity of that preset, so we can increase or decrease that to our desire. So I'm going to go for a little bit of muting on this, about 54. Then we have diffuse, and this one, as the name suggests, acts similar to putting a diffusion filter on your camera. Diffusion filters just soften the edges and kind of bloom the light and just give a really nice soft aesthetic without losing details. So diffuse does a similar thing here. So if I go ahead and apply diffuse, you can see, if I zoom in, actually it'll be a little bit easier. You can see how it just softens things up and just blooms those highlights in a really nice flattering way. It just gives that nice dreamy softness to the images. So I'm going to use that on this. I'm going to go ahead and apply. And again, we can set the amount. I'm going to go probably for the default. Let's go for 100. I love the way it's kind of just kind of blurring out the background and gives us that nice diffusion throughout. Then we have dynamic, and this one is a way to add contrast into the image without increasing saturation. Now that's not necessarily going to matter too much on this because it's black and white, but if you have a color image and you crank up the contrast, a couple of things happen. Obviously it increases contrast, but it also increases the perceptual saturation in the image as well. So with dynamic, you can increase the contrast level in the image without increasing the saturation. Very handy for a set like this, where it's all about those sort of moodier aesthetics, more desaturated look. You don't necessarily want to add that additional saturation. So with dynamic, we can add that extra pop of contrast with one click. And again, we've got the amount here, so we can increase or decrease that. And you can see that's going to add that level of contrast. And I think for this, I'm going to add a little bit of it. I'm going to bring it up to 125, so we get a little bit more contrast pushed into the image. We can then go ahead and shape the light further with Trouvaille black and white creative profile. So if I want to bring the light down, I could do that because we've got quite a lot of light. It looks like it was a fairly overcast but bright day. So it's quite bright at the top there. So I'm going to bring that down using the creative profile, but I've still got the dynamic in the image using the dynamic tool there. So I can kind of bring the contrast that I want into the subjects and the rest of the image. We then have Deluminate. This one just offers a little bit of a darker look to your images. So again, if you want to go for that moody vibe, Deluminate just darkens things down. It actually applies a background mask and a subject mask and darkens them separately so that your subject doesn't end up being too dark, but you can see that there is a shift in the illumination of the subject, but mainly the background as well. So this is a lovely tool just to kind of bring that extra bit of drama and mood to the images. So I'm going to use a little bit of this, maybe about 43. Then we have achromatic, and that's not going to be a tool that I would use on this image because this is, of course, is black and white. And what achromatic does is it desaturates the colors in the images even further. So you can go for that partially desaturated look. And again, it uses the subject and the background masks to allow for more desaturation in the colors in the background of the image and some desaturation in your subject. But of course, you don't want their skin tones, for instance, to become too desaturated. So again, it's a really nice balance between. So we'll use that on another image later on that we edit in color. Then we have landscape. So landscape is designed just to be used on a landscape only image. And what it essentially does is it removes the subject mask. So when you take a photo without a specifically defined subject, so let's say like a landscape image or a nature photo or something like that, Lightroom will still try and figure out where a subject is. So it could sort of pull a section of the image out thinking that's your subject. And it can look a little bit weird if that's not actually a subject, like a person or an object that's really prominent. So with the landscape tool, it essentially just removes that subject mask to give a nice uniform look across the image. So you wouldn't use that on this because we have people in the shot. So if I was to apply that, you can see it's going to just desaturate and remove the subject, so you can see how it's just actually darkening them down. So you only want to use landscape tool on a landscape image or a nature image, something like that, where you don't have a specifically defined subject, but it's great to have just so that you can kind of fix the issue that you might see when it pulls a subject out of an image that doesn't really have one. And then we have reset, and reset will simply just undo the tools that we've applied and strip it back to just the core preset. So if you think, oh, I'm not too sure about that, you can go ahead and press reset, and it's simply going to hide all of the masks that we've added and go back to the default preset. So this is our edit. This is Trouvaille 1. We've decreased the profile just to dial the light to my liking. We've used a little bit of mute. We've used some diffusion to soften things up. We've added dynamics for extra contrast. We've used a little bit of delumination in the background. And this is the final image. So here's before and here's after. Really, really nice transformation. I love the shape of the image, the way it's kind of really pulled out the detail in the subjects. We've kind of darkened that background down a little bit, softened things up. It's really flattering, super, super nice. Gorgeous, gorgeous photo by Yeva. There's your side-by-side comparison. Let's have a look at the chat. Alberta says, happy to be a Quest member. Use some presets this Christmas. That's awesome. Thank you, Alberta. So dreamy. Love your edit, Liam. This has the potential to be my new favorite black and white. I think this very much could be Yeva. I think you're going to love it. This set has actually risen right up there for me. As soon as I started applying on images, I just loved the way it transformed them. And I know when we shared a couple of sneak peeks in our Facebook group, people were losing their minds excited for this set to come out. So like I said, this one comes out on the 1st of January to Quest members. So make sure you are subscribed to Quest. You can find out more about Quest at archipelagoquest.com. This is such a dreamy black and white edit. That's from Andrew. Thank you. Elizabeth said the mute slider makes the photo look more like a wet plate image. Very nice. Yeah, I love that. It's definitely a tool that I enjoy using. All right, so let's move on to the next image. So this one here by Bernadetta. Bernadetta's images are always stunning, and this one is no different. Super nice. I love the crop on this one, the way that we've framed the subject. So I'm going to bring the exposure up a decent amount. I'm going to add a little bit of temperature, add a bit more warmth with the temperature slider. I think somewhere around there is looking good to me. We're going to use Trouvaille 2 for this one. So I'm going to go ahead and apply Trouvaille 2. Give that a second for it to figure out where those AI elements are in the image. There we go. Really, really nice. So again, this before and after. Really gorgeous transformation. Skin tones looking super nice. You get that nice moody aesthetic. Really, really gorgeous tonality with Trouvaille 2. So again, we've got that creative profile set to 100. This is it down at 0, up at 200. I probably will leave it at the default amount for now. I think it's shaping the light quite nicely. And I'm not sure if I would do too much else to this. I think maybe just bring the exposure up just a tiny touch. If we use deilluminate and just shape how dark and moody we want the image to be, I think somewhere around there. And maybe just a tiny little bit of diffusion. Just back that off a tiny bit. I don't think we need dynamics. Let's have a look. Yeah, we could go for a little bit. I don't want too much. I want to keep some of the softness that we're getting. I would probably go with that. So that's a really, really simple edit. There's before, there's after. That's with Trouvaille 2. We've left the creative profile set at the default amount of 100. We've used a little bit of diffusion and added a touch of dynamic and deilluminate to it. And there's your side-by-side comparison. Perry said, I love having the tools you guys make in my toolbox. Absolutely. It's all about creating presets and tools and creative profiles that help you to achieve the aesthetic that you're hoping to achieve or inspire you. Sometimes it's just a case of kind of, using a tool or using a preset and it kind of helping to inspire a particular direction that you want to take the edit. And that's what it's all about. Wow, this is such a gorgeous image. I really love these. That's from Flirty Boudoir. Thank you. Love the moodiness. Melia on, my first time watching it live. This is very fun. Great. That's awesome. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate you being on here live. Just to remind everyone that is here in the live chat, especially if it's your first time like Melia, we of course do a giveaway during the live chat. So if you are tuning live, if you just keep interacting with the stream as we go through it by just chatting away in the chat box, we'll be choosing someone to win pre-release copies of this set, Quest 33 Trouvaille. And we're also doing a giveaway for a Quest hoodie as well. So keep chatting away as we go through the rest of this stream. So again, that one there by Bernadetta, super nice image. Let's roll on to the next one. This one is by Mitra. Love this image. Mitra's work really, really stands out every time I see it. Super, super nice photo here as well. So I'm going to bring the exposure up a decent amount. I'm going to add some warmth. I think around about there is looking good to me. Maybe a tiny touch of magenta. And let's go for Trouvaille 3 on this. So this is the warmer toned color preset. Again, we'll give that a second to figure out where the subject is. Look at that, super nice transformation. It really just transforms the mood in the image. That's before and that's after. That's one click with Trouvaille 3. Really nice mood. I love the way it's kind of darkened things down. It's given us that nice kind of brownish tone throughout all of the warm colors in the image. It's still retained the color in the flower down here. That's before, that's after. So let's use the creative profile and we'll kind of shape the light. I think for this one, I'm going to go for a bit of a softer look. So I'm going to bring the profile down just a bit and bring the exposure up a little bit to offset that. I'm going to use a little bit of deilluminate just to darken things down even further and just push that look. I think right about there, 61. Let's go for some diffusion and I'm probably going to crank that on this because I love that kind of romantic soft look that we're getting from it. That's looking very, very good. Dynamic, I don't think I'm going to use. I want to keep the softness, but I might use a little bit of the mute tool. Not much of it, just a bit, just to soften up mainly the highlights. So I would probably go around about there. Bring the exposure up just a tiny little bit. And then we have, we could try using achromatic on this so you can see what that does. So if I go ahead and hover over achromatic, so you can see how it shifts the color, it desaturates things in the background. It also desaturates the subject, but just a little bit, so it kind of blends nicely with the rest of the image, but you can see most of that's happening in the background there. So we could use a little bit of achromatic. I'm not going to use much because I want to keep some of that warmth running through the background, so about 30. And let's take a look at the before. So this is before and this is after. So this is with Trouvaille 3, the creative profile reduced. We've added a little bit of mute. We've added a lot of diffuse. We've added some deluminate and some achromatic just to kind of really hone in the tones. Super easy set to use this one. It's not complex in any way. You can see you get a really, really nice result from the one click of the preset. And then the tools are very, very self-explanatory and really easy to control and dial in with that preset amount slider. I love the way this looks. Let's go ahead and zoom in on the subject so you can see in a little bit more detail. We've got a really nice amount of grain here as well. It's very subtle. It's just kind of adding a little bit of texture to the image. Of course, if you don't know, you can very easily turn that off by going into the effects panel and just bringing the amount down to 0. But the default amount is really, really nice. It just adds that texture without being a very obvious grain in the image, which I really like. And then that warm toning that we've got running throughout the image, the way it enhances the browns in the background and in the hair here as well. Really flattering skin tones. And then again, the way it's just rendered the color in the flower. Very, very pretty image by Mitra. Love the interaction between leading lines and the dress fringe movement on this image. Yeah, I love that, Elizabeth. Great observation. Amazing what just one click does to the photos. That's from Elaine. Thank you. Remind me slightly of a hand-painted film print. Love it. That's awesome. Very, very cool. First-time viewer, and I recently bought my first Archipelago preset 4x5 film. Loving this one so far. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for becoming a member of our our Archipelago community by buying your first preset. 4x5 is an incredible set. Really nice filmic set that kind of replicates the look of large format film. It's one of my personal favorites. You've got lots more to explore both in our Archipelago store. Lots of amazing presets on there. But also you should check out our Quest membership. This, of course, is a set that's coming to our Quest membership on the 1st of January. And for those that don't know, Archipelago Quest is a preset subscription. We release a new set every single month that's free for our Quest members to download. Quest members also have the ability to purchase previously released Archipelago Quest sets from the archive store, and they get a year-round discount on the Archipelago presets. So there's lots to love about our Quest membership. You can join for just $12 per month, or you can do a 6-month subscription and get a slight discount as well. You get a month free when you do 6 months. We also, actually, while I got your attention, we have got our sales on right now. We've got lots of stuff going on for our Black Friday week sales. So first of all, we've got 30% off in the Archipelago preset store. That's using the code BOXING23, BOXING23. You get 30% off any of the regular priced Archipelago presets. We've also put one of the Quest sets, one of the most popular Quest sets that we've ever released, which is Quest 05 Gemtones. We've actually put that onto Archipelago for a limited period of time. So if you are not a Quest member and you want to get hold of that set, previously you had to be a Quest member to get it, but for a limited time that's available on the Archipelago presets store. That's Quest 05 Gemtones, and you can use the Boxing Week discount to get that as well, which is very exciting. Beyond that, we've also got a bundle sale. So if you are buying any of the regular priced Archipelago presets, this is if you're not using the Boxing sale discount code. If you buy any of the regular price ones up to a value of $400, so if you've got $400 or more in your cart, you'll actually automatically get 40% discount if they're the regular price presets. You can't use that in conjunction with the Boxing Week sale, but if you add $400 worth of presets to your cart, you'll automatically get 40% off without needing a code. So that's great if you want to stock up, get a whole bunch of sets. You could get yourself 4 of the Archipelago sets and Quest 05 gem tones, and you'll get a 40% discount on that big bundle. And then we've also got, on top of that, 50% off in the Quest Archive store. So if you're a Quest member, you can go into the Archive store. We've got a discount code that's available for Quest members to use to get 50% off the Quest Archive sets. That's any of those sets that are in the archive, including Quest Volume 1, which is the first year of Quest, sets 1 through to 12. That's bundled up. It has a massive discount already, and that can use the 50% discount. So you can get all those 12 sets for $99, I believe, which is incredible price. So take advantage of that. That's in the Archipelago preset store using Boxing 23 and in the Archive store for Quest members. So yeah, go and check all that stuff out. So let's move on to the next image. This one here by Amelia. I love this image. It's got that really nice storytelling vibe. We have a lot of movement in it, and I'm not even mad at the kind of crooked angle. I think it adds to the dimensions of the image and the way it kind of tells the story. Super, super nice. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the exposure up a little bit on this one. We're going to do this one in black and white, but I'm going to just add a little tiny touch of warmth to the image first in the temperature slider. So let's take a look at Trouvaille 1 on this. Give that a click. Really nice. Look at that. Super, super nice transformation. There's before and after. It's just lifting the subjects up just a little bit, darkening down that background, getting that really nice black and white conversion. Let's have a look at the light and what we want to do. I'm going to add a little bit more shape to the light by increasing the creative profile. Bring the exposure up just a little bit more, but I don't want to bring it up too far because I want to keep the mood of the image. All right, I'm definitely going to go for a bit of mute on this because I think it's going to add to that nostalgic storytelling vibe. I'm probably going to put some diffusion on here as well. Maybe the default amount of 100. Don't know if I want to use dynamic. No, I'm going to leave it without because I like the softness that we've got in the image as it is. Don't need to use achromatic or landscape, but I might use a bit of deilluminate just to darken that background even further. Maybe about there, 84. Bring the exposure up a tiny touch. That's looking super nice. So there's before and there's after. That's with Trouvaille 1. We've increased the creative profile. I think I would maybe do a couple more things with this. Let's have a look at, let's go to Fable. And let's add the dust and scratches from Quest 25 Fable, just to kind of add a little bit more to the aesthetic of this image. And I think I would probably leave it there. So again, this is before and after. There's the side by side. So you can see I've just added that nice little bit of dust and scratch effect to the image. That's from Quest 25 Fable. And then the rest of this is being achieved by Trouvaille 1 with that gorgeous black and white conversion. We've used a creative profile just to shape the light and give a little bit more shape to the clouds in the background there. We've used mute. We've used some diffusion. We've used a little bit of deillumination there as well. Alberta said, I use my Quest 50% off to buy snow presets. They are so perfect. That's awesome. Yes, they've been very, very popular over this Christmas period. Obviously, we are heading into the depths of winter now, so a lot of places are going to start to get snow, and those snow presets, they essentially use the masking panel of Lightroom to apply a snowfall effect to your image, and they are very, very cool. And they're great. Even if you're editing an image where it was actually snowing at the time, you tend to find that snowflakes don't always look super aesthetic, or they tend to be quite small in the image. And you just want to accentuate that further, or you might just want to put snow in an image where you had no snow. And the snowfall tools do that very, very well. So you can find those in the Quest archive store. Andrew says Quest Volume 1 includes some incredible sets, lots of favorites in there. Yes, absolutely. Love the dust and scratches. That's from Joan. Yeah, I'm a big fan of dust and scratches. We've got a few sets that have them included, our filmic sets. And like I said, Fable is the one that I use for this. We also have a dust and scratches tool set that's available in the Quest Archive store as well. And that's just an array of different dust and scratch effects you can apply to your images. I think Dutch angles are back. I saw a lot of them used for celebrity wedding photos lately. That's from Elizabeth. Nice. OMG, love how much the dust and scratches add to the feel of the image. Yeah, I really, really like using dust and scratches. It does really help to deliver either that filmic look or that more nostalgic look. So yeah, like I said, we have the Quest Tools 03 dust and scratches. You've got 10 different dust and scratch effects in there. So if you are interested in getting some of those, you can find those on the Quest Archive store, and you can use that discount code to get 50% off. Black and white, I love. Thank you, Vintage Barbie. I love that it can use all of the Quest presets together so easily, but there are so many great ones. Sometimes I get lost in an image. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something that can happen if you're just exploring the potential of what you can do. Sometimes it can be quite overwhelming because there's so many great options, which is a nice problem to have, right? It's not a case that you're just kind of going, oh yeah, there's maybe one or two great presets. There's so many amazing presets and tools, and it's really good fun mixing and matching. I actually did a live stream recently, one of our Archipelago edits live streams, and it was all about mixing and matching different presets with different creative profiles and different tools from different sets. You'll find that on the YouTube channel if you want to check that out. Just great to kind of explore some of the recipes you might want to create yourself. All right, let's roll on to the next image. This one here by Matt Pocknell. I love Matt's work. This is another Scotland-based photographer with the beautiful highlands in the background here. So we're going to go ahead and edit this one with Trouvaille 2. I'm going to increase the exposure just a bit. I could correct the vignette with the lens correction, but I'm actually going to keep it because I like what it's doing to the image. It's just really drawing the eye to the couple in the middle here. So I'm going to leave that as it is. And I'm happy with the white balance. Let's go ahead and apply Trouvaille 2. Look at that instant mood, super, super nice. You can see how it's desaturating the greens and the yellows in the grass there. It's also desaturating some of the colors in the outfit here, but keeping enough of it so you can see the natural colors there, but just making it a little bit more moody. Really, really gorgeous aesthetic. Definitely suits this nice moody sky that we have and these dramatic mountains in the background. So the creative profile, let's have a look at how we're shaping the light. I would probably be tempted to bring it down so that we can get a little bit more detail into the sky. I'm definitely going to use Deluminate just to darken things further. Let's go back there, and I'll bring the overall exposure up just to compensate. I'm just looking at how the subjects here are exposed. So I think somewhere around about there looks good to me. We can take a look at dynamic. That might be nice just to bring a little bit of contrast into the scene. Yeah, that's looking really, really lovely. But to soften things up, we could use a little bit of mute. I'm not going to go for loads because I want to keep some of the shape in the dress here. Just because the wind's blowing, there's a really nice shape in the dress. I don't want to lose too much. If you look at that, it kind of crunches it too far. So I'm going to go for a nice amount, maybe about here, about 44, just to kind of soften up the highlights and the shadows, but just retain some of that texture we have in the dress and in the shirt. Achromatic, if we want to go a little bit further, yeah, I think that's quite nice actually. I'm going to just use that just to desaturate things even further, maybe around about 90, somewhere there. And then we can offset that by just bringing a tiny touch more warmth into the image. That's looking great to me. And I probably wouldn't do anything else. I don't think I'd add diffusion or anything because I like the level of texture we have with the grass and the mountains in the background there. The only other thing you could do is just add a little bit more contrast back in with the Trouvaille profile. So I'm just going to bring it up a tiny touch and bring the exposure back down a bit there. It's looking good to me. So that's a really nice balance. We've got enough shape and contrast in the image, but we've kind of really desaturated the color tones, gone for that very, very moody, romantic, dark aesthetic. And I just love the way it renders the grass color. And it just sort of keeps this nice little bit of orangey brown tones in the outfit of the subject there. So again, this is before and this is after. There's your side-by-side comparison. Lee said, I use dust and scratches so much. They are my fave tools. That's great. Thank you, Lise. Okay, now I need dust and scratches too. That's from Alberta. Sorry for tempting you, Alberta, but yeah, you do. Ashley said, this is gorgeous. Such a mood. I'm obsessed. That's from Christina. Those greens are lovely. That's from Ashley. Thank you so much. Melia said, I cannot wait to use this set. You've not got too long to wait. And actually, you could be one of the lucky people that get your hands on it early as well, because you are tuning live and you are interacting. So that's good news. You're in with a chance. Snow would look awesome on this. I think Richard just copies and pastes that comment on every single live stream that I do. He's obsessed with the snow. Let's satisfy him. I like to keep him happy. So let's go ahead and take a look at adding the snowfall. So I'm going to hover over this. It's going to take a second. That does look good. It always looks good. This is the thing. So every time Richard says it, I always apply it. It does look good. So yeah, there you go. This is a Quest Tools 05 Snowfall. Absolutely magic. This is using Lightroom masking layers to apply a snowfall effect in Lightroom without needing to go into Photoshop and apply layers onto the image, all that kind of stuff. It's incredible. It's so clever. And that's why we love developing tools like this, pushing the boundaries of what's capable with the available features in Lightroom. There really isn't any other preset provider in the world that's doing the type of stuff that we do with effects such as this. So yeah, if I go into the masking panel here, you can see just how much work was involved in creating this effect. All of these are different layers of different size and kind of density of snow to create this very realistic effect. And once you apply it, one click, again, you've got the amount slider. You can increase or decrease that to your desire. But I always find that the default amount looks really nice as it is. So that's it at 100. So again, let's take a look. There's before and there's after, and there is the side-by-side comparison. We've got a really nice moody look. We've pushed that even further by getting some snow going on in there as well, which is super nice. So before and after. OMG, the snow. That's from Christina. Heck yes. Wow, that looks amazing, so good. Yeah, lots of positivity. Every time I do it, people are blown away. And we've got lots of cool tools like that as part of different preset collections that we have on Archipelago, but also on Quest. Our Quest subscription is not only about bringing you a fresh set of presets every single month, we also explore how we push the boundaries and the limitations of what are available to us. And some of the most advanced presets we've ever created are via Quest. So it's a great place to be. It's great to be a Quest member so you can get all of those amazing presets that you can use for your work, but also it's really just about exploring what is possible. And you can see in our tool sets, we have things like snowfall like this. We have borders. I created some filmic borders that emulate the look of shooting with film and having the film borders around the edge and light leaks and dust and all that kind of stuff. We have lens effects, which replicate the look of having kind of lens flares and light coming into your image, all that good stuff, as well as what we have in the individual sets as well. So there's loads of amazing tools that we create as part of the preset collections that we make. I need the snow. Yes, you do. You can find that in the Archipelago Quest archive store. So if you become a member of Quest today, if you're not already a member, become a member of Quest today. You're going to pay just $12 to become a member if you do the monthly rolling subscription, or you can do 6 months up front and just pay every 6 months. But if you become a member today, you can download this month's current set for free as part of your subscription. You can then go into the archive store and take advantage of our 50% off sale and buy previously released sets, including this one, Snowfall, the tool that I just used. And then on the 1st of January, you're going to get your hands on Quest 33 Trouvaille, which is the preset collection that I'm showcasing today. So become a member is what I'm saying, basically. Go to archipelagoquest.com, become a member of Quest. You won't regret it, I promise. You're going to love it. All right, before and after. So where are we? We are on image number 5. We've got 3 more images to go. So let's jump into image number 6. This one is by Angela. And I'm going to go ahead and straighten things up. I'm going to increase the exposure a decent amount. I'm going to add a little bit more warmth. I think maybe around about there. And we're going to go for Trouvaille 3 on this one. Give that a click. And give it time to render. Look at that, super nice. Again, we're getting that really nice moody aesthetic. There's before and there's after. That's with the creative profile set to 100 as default. This is how it looks if I decrease or increase that. I'm going to leave it at the default amount, I think, but I might add a little bit of dynamic to this. So that's deluminate first, just to darken things down a little bit further and just draw your eye to the subject. I'm going to go ahead and bring the exposure up just a little bit. I'm going to add dynamic just to give a little bit more contrast, but I don't want to use too much because we've got a decent amount going on already. It's about there, 40, 42. Diffuse, that's going to look nice. It's just going to soften up some of the lines and the light in the background there. So set that to 59. Achromatic, I think, could look good on this as well, but just a little bit. It's about 50, 48, just to kind of desaturate the colors in the image just a little bit further. And let's take a look. This is before and after. Wonderful image from Angela. Really like this this setting here with this really grand house. I love old paintings like that. And let's take a look at that side by side as well. So that one is with Trouvaille 3. We've left the profile at 100. We could push it up just a little bit, just to add a little bit more shape to the light in the image, maybe about there, 138. And let's go ahead and zoom in so you can see the side-by-side comparison there. Melly said, I love the snow preset, looks outstanding on this image. Thank you. Loving all of these iterations. That's from Perry. Thank you so much. So good. Snow is perfect for this shot. Mrs. Connor said, that's what I'll do. I think that's in response to going and joining Quest and becoming a Quest member, which is very exciting. You've got lots of great stuff to discover on our Quest platform. Bhupesh said, I shared my photo for the edit. I hope you selected. Bhupesh, the image selections for the live streams are just the Archipelago edits streams, which is a different type of stream. This one's a sneak peek at the upcoming Quest set, and then every other stream tends to be the Archipelago edits stream. But don't worry, I haven't selected it for this one because this one we've used a selection of images that we've chosen from particular photographers, but that means it is in the pool. So the next Archipelago edits session that I'll be doing, I'll be choosing from that pool, so your image may get selected for the next live stream or a future live stream. So definitely stay tuned to see if it does get picked. Christina said, oof, those one-click edits have me swooning. I'm so excited to play with these presets. That's very exciting. Beautiful tones. I'm blown away with the set. I can't wait to add it with the 4x5 film set, which is one of my favorites. Yeah, that's one of my favorites too. All right, let's zoom back out. Let's move on to the next image. This one here by Liv. I'm going to go ahead and straighten it up just a little bit, maybe around about there. Let's bring the exposure up a good amount, a tiny little bit more warmth, just to make sure the skin tones are rendering nicely. And I'm going to go for a color edit on this, potentially Trouvaille 2. Yeah, I'm going to go for Trouvaille 2 on this one, just to get that nice neutral, slightly cool toned look. So that's looking good. I'm going to bring the exposure up just a little bit more. I'm looking at the skin tones on the subjects there. But the dress is obviously catching the light quite a bit because the subject with the white dress is closest to the window. So I'm going to use the creative profile and bring that down just to kind of bring the light down in that area of the image. And then I'll bring the exposure up just a little bit more to offset that, just so we can balance things out between the two subjects. I am going to use dynamic just to add a little bit more contrast back in now that I've done that. I want to make sure that my shadows stay nice and dark and get some nice shape in the image. So that's looking great. Mute, I'm not sure actually. I quite like the contrasty looks. I'm going to leave it as it is. Deluminate, I will definitely be doing on this, just so we can kind of really draw the eye to the subject. So about 63, and I would probably leave that there. So this is before and after. That's with Trouvaille 2. We've decreased the profile just to kind of balance out the light that's on the subject on the left. We've used dynamic to add a little bit more contrast and keep those shadows nice and dark. We've used illuminate just to draw the eye to the subject. And we've also, I think that was it actually. So this is before and after. There's your side-by-side comparison. Again, super quick, super easy edit. And really, really nice results. There's the zoomed in version for you. Vintage Barbie had a question. If you don't love the skin tones after an edit, what do you normally do? Couple of things you can do. Now, the quickest and easiest thing to do would be to use our AI portrait toolset. This is available on the Quest archive store. This is a toolset designed for portraiture, and essentially it contains a whole bunch of tools to help address things such as skin tones. So in here you can go for skin shift, and you can then shift it to be more magenta, more orange, more green, whatever it is that you need to do to address the skin tones to your liking. There's also skin saturation or desaturation tools, and the skin restore tool is a tool that I use quite a bit. That helps just to restore the natural tone of the skin on your subject. And then beyond that, it also has adjustments for things like eyes, lips, brows, hair, all that good stuff. So if you really want to dial in your portraiture, this is an incredible set to help you do that. It even does basic retouching of the skin using the skin brush and diffuser tools. They're absolutely amazing. It's using all that AI functionality in Lightroom. So one click, it'll find that element of the subject, and then you can dial the amount with the preset amount slider. So that's the easiest way. Beyond that, you can simply go into the color mixer and you can go to the hue and the orange slider here, and you can adjust it with the orange slider. Now, skin tones all fall into the orange slider the majority of the time. So that's the hue that you want to address if the skin tone needs changing, or of course the saturation for the orange slider if you want to increase or decrease the saturation, and of course luminance. It all falls within orange. The downside to that is anything else that's orange within the image will be affected. And up until the AI functionality was brought about in Lightroom, there really wasn't any easy way to deal with that. It was just a case of sucking it up and just losing or shifting the oranges throughout the image. But with tools like the AI portrait toolset, you can now adjust just the skin tones without needing to adjust the oranges across the whole image. You can just select the skin of your subject, dial the hue, the saturation, and the luminance using those incredible tools. So definitely go and check out the AI portrait toolset, which is geared up for wedding photographers, just to kind of help with a lot of the challenges that we come across when shooting weddings. And again, both of those are available on the Quest archive store. Some incredible things to discover on there. What else we got going on? What a shot. That's from Joan. I agree. It's such a nice photo. I love this little setup here and the quiet moment with the subjects. So beautiful. I love how the subjects catch the light and the background falls away. Melly said, I use the portrait retouch set with almost every image. Love that. That's awesome. Sounds like a must-have, that set. Thank you. More love for the AI portrait tool set from Elizabeth as well. Thank you, Elizabeth. All right, so we're on to the last image, this image here, number 8. Let's go ahead and edit this one. And then, of course, we'll be announcing a winner for the live chat. You'll be winning either the pre-release copy of these presets, or a Quest hoodie. So stay tuned to find out who the winner is. So this image here from Mary, this is gorgeous. I love the setup here with the two subjects playing piano. Really nice atmosphere to this with the lamp on in the background and a little bit of light coming in from behind. So it's going to bring the exposure up a decent amount. I'm going to take the temperature down just a tiny touch and just add a little bit of magenta, maybe about there. Maybe a tiny touch, actually about there. And for this one, I will probably go for a warmer edit. So I'm going to go for Trouvaille 3. Look at that, super nice, really, really moody. So I'm going to bring the exposure up just a tiny touch. I want to keep the mood in this image. Again, just want to make sure the light is shaped how I want. So I'm going to increase the creative profile just to add a little bit more light on the subjects coming in from behind the camera. So I would go maybe about there, 142. I'm definitely going to mute this because I think we've got that nostalgic look to the image already. I think the kind of the vibe that I'm getting has a real nice nostalgia to it. So I'm going to use mute just to kind of push that even further. And probably some diffusion as well, because that always helps to give that nice dreamy nostalgic look. So that's looking great. Dynamic, I don't think I need to use that. I mean, we could if we want to pull up in more detail. Maybe I'm going to use a little bit of it, but I want to kind of keep some of the kind of soft tonality that we're getting. So maybe about there, about 50, 49. Deilluminate, probably not, because we have a nice amount of difference between the background and the subjects anyway. Achromatic, Probably not, because I like the warmth that we've got going on. So let's take a look. This is before and after. And there's the side-by-side. So that's with Trouvaille 3. We increased the creative profile just to add a little bit more light to the subjects there. We used a tiny little bit of dynamic just to add some contrast back into the image. We've diffused it with the diffuse tool, and we've used mute to mute up the background there as well. And we could round this out with another tool. Let's go for a filmic border. So I'm going to go into the Quest Tools 07 filmic borders. Like I said before, this replicates the look of shooting film and having the film borders on the edges of your image. And I think this will go really nicely with this photo, because we have that nice nostalgic look. So you have 35mm film in here. You've also got this sort of look where it shoots over the edges of the sprocket holes, or you have 120 film. And I think I would probably go for 120 film on this. Got a nice little bit of light leak coming in through the top there. There's really nice borders with the detail on the side. And let's just close that down, and let's go into our dust and scratches, and let's apply D&S 9, which is one of my favorite dust and scratches. And I'm just going to dial that down a little bit. Where are we? Give that a second to apply. Yeah, mask one, that's the one. I'm just going to bring the amount down just a bit so that we have a little bit more of a subtle look. And there we go. We've sort of leaned into that nostalgic filmic look for this one. We've got the dust on there. We've got the filmic border with the light leak coming through and the detail on the edge of the rebate. And of course, that gorgeous toning from Trouvaille 3 with that nice warmth to it. We've increased the creative profile. We'll use a couple of tools there as well. And we've achieved a really, really nice look, I think. There's a before and after side-by-side comparison. Lots of chat happening, what we're saying. Amazing picture, the vibe. So lovely and moody. This is what my moody dreams are made of. So gorgeous. Love all the tips, tricks, and knowledge you share. I learned so much from your lives. Thank you so much, Vintage Barbie. Love, nice, beautiful, lots and lots of appreciation. Yes to the film border. The border is perfect. Hello, everyone. That's from Kamal. Kamal, thanks for joining. You are a little late, so you might want to rewatch this live stream. We are near the end now, but thank you so much for tuning in when you've been able to. Can we see this in black and white? Of course we can see this in black and white. That's no problem at all. So let's go ahead and do Trouvaille 1. Whoa, that's looking good. Ignore the borders for now, because that's a color border that we've got on the image there. I'm going to bring the profile down a little bit, and I'm just going to go into the black and white version of filmic borders and do the black and white version of 120, and that'll just kind of convert that to black and white for us. And I think I'm happy with that. I like what we're getting just with that sort of couple of clicks. We've kept the dust on there. We just changed the border so it has the black and white filmic border just so it matches the image. And then we've got Trouvaille 1 with the profile decreased. And again, there's your side-by-side. Yes, the dust and scratches. These are incredible. Great transformation. Love the black and white. Excellent stuff. Thank you so much, everyone. So let's go ahead and select all the images that we've edited here, and let's take a look at them all next to each other with those gorgeous Trouvaille edits. This image here is not quite caught up, actually, so let's go back into that one and back out, and then we'll wait for that to catch up. This preview here should catch up in a second, and then we can see them all side by side. There we go, that's better. So now if I press that button and those buttons there, we can see them all side by side, that nice kind of set of images all complementing each other really nicely. In fact, if I just go ahead and hide myself so you can see that a bit better. There you go. Christina said, this is my favorite Quest set yet. So dreamy. They all look lovely. That's from Elizabeth. Flirty Boudoir says, I'm ready for January 1st. Black and white dreams, insane. That's from Melia. Thank you so much. All right, there we go. So let me unhide that one. Let's switch to this view here. So we'll be announcing the winners in the live chat in just a moment. So keep an eye on the live chat. Big thank you for tuning in though. If you did enjoy this stream, do give it a like. That really helps us out. Just to kind of push this video out to more people. Make sure you are subscribed to our newsletters so you can hear about all of the news happening. Like I said, we have the sales on right now, so take advantage of those both on the archive store for Quest members and also on the Archipelago preset store. And there we go. The winners have been announced by Richard in the chat there. The winners of the pre-release of Trouvaille and a Quest hoodie, so you're going to get both, is Vintage Barbie, Melia, Alberta, and Brew. Reach out to us at our support email. You're going to see that in the chat there. But big congratulations to all of you. You're getting your hands on Quest 33 Trouvaille early before anyone else does. And you're also going to get the Archipelago Quest hoodie so you can stay nice and warm and toasty while you edit your images. But big congratulations to you. Thank you to everyone else for joining. I really, really appreciate you taking the time to join me on the live streams. Always love hosting these. And yeah, I'll see you in another live stream in the new year. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you can find out when that next live stream is happening. And in the meantime, check out some of the other content we have here on our YouTube channel. We've got loads of good stuff. There's some editing tutorials. There's lots and lots of good stuff on there. So take the time to check out some more of the videos and I'll see you soon. Thank you.